When you first get into blogging, I feel like so many people hear about applying for ad agencies and they don't know when is a good time to actually apply for those ad agencies. And I just want to give you a bit of a checklist to have these things in place before you try to apply for an ad agency. So, the first thing that you want to do is I would make sure that you have at least 30 to 40 blog posts written before you try to apply for any ad agency. And the reason for this is you want them to have enough content to review. And I'm pretty sure there are minimum expectations for how many blog posts you should have. I don't know the exact number. I tried to do some research on this, but as far as I can tell, for Journey at least by Mediavine, you need at least 30 to 40 blog posts. Some other things to keep in mind for them to check. Now, this is more for the regular Mediavine, but you should be set up with Google Analytics. So this is my Google Analytics profile, for instance, and you can see the number of sessions I have and whatever. But basically, you want to have this set up and connected to your blog before you even try to apply, because you should not be applying to any ad agencies until you have at least 1,000 sessions. So this goes for Google AdSense or Journey by Mediavine. I believe that 1,000 sessions, they haven't said for sure, but I do believe 1,000 sessions is the minimum. I personally have not heard anybody who has gotten in with less than 1,000. I know for my other blog, I got in with about 1,000 monthly sessions. So that is when I would start to apply for any ad agency. Of course, there's certain thresholds that you have to hit. So some of those thresholds are good standing with Google AdSense. So what that means is basically just not having any dings on your account. You don't have to apply for Google AdSense to get approved for Journey by Mediavine. You just need to be in good standing with them. That's all that means. You don't need to have been previously on Google AdSense, but you just need to be in good standing with them. So you haven't done any spammy or scammy things in the past for them to look at your account and be like, hey, this person is kind of sketchy. The other thing that you should have set up is a Google Search Console. Now, this is absolutely standard for blogs, even if you're not going for Google SEO. I'm still getting about 3,000 outbound clicks every single month from Google search. And I don't really care about it, but it doesn't hurt to have. And you should have it set up because you want to know if Google is finding your pages. I don't care about ranking because SEO for web search is not part of my strategy at all, but you need to make sure that your website is findable on Google. So, for instance, looking for work well remote, these should be findable on Google and I should come up for them. After any blog post that you write, it doesn't matter if you want to be somebody who ranks for SEO, you should always inspect all of the URLs so that it can be findable. Doesn't matter if you want to rank or not, it needs to go through Google Search Console first. I talk about Pinterest a lot, and Pinterest is definitely the easiest platform to get people to click on your website. I have grown this Pinterest account to be at 3.2 monthly views. I actually will get into something that I'm going to post probably tomorrow or the next day about something that I messed up, and I'm going to go into more detail about that. But you should have a Pinterest account if you're going to do anything for trying to get people to find your blog. Pinterest is the easiest way to grow, especially in 2025. It is the best time to get on Pinterest and start a blog. So basically, some minimums that you need to hit is, like I said, 30 to 40 blog posts, 1,000 monthly sessions, good standing with Google AdSense. As frustrating as it can be, you also need to make sure that you have a majority of tier 1 traffic. So that is in places like the US, Canada, England, Australia, those are the tier 1 countries. So you need to make sure that the majority of your traffic is coming from those places. That's another reason why Pinterest is so good, because they have such a large majority of US traffic. So it makes it a lot easier to get accepted. So for Journey by Mediavine, it does say starting at 10,000 sessions. Like I said before, so many people are getting accepted with 1,000 sessions. Now you're not going to be making a lot of money. Like I will say so far, I still have my other blog sort of on the back burner, but you are not going to be making even $100 yet with only 1,000 sessions. But it's good to start as soon as possible, because once it adds up and once you get to that $100 threshold, then it will be easier to start making money. You also want to make sure your content is written by humans for humans and it is helpful. So I have talked before about using AI on my website. I have used AI to write a lot of my content, but it's so important to go back through and humanize that content and make it helpful. Add your own personal experience to it. Say I whenever you can, and add your own various spin on it, because your content should be helpful for other people. People do not care about you, they care about what they can get from you. And so when your content is helpful, people are going to like and share and interact with your content. So if somebody has found my content, for instance, let's open up my notifications here and let's find one that has some rating on it. So this one, for instance, 50 work from home companies that make over $30 an hour with training included. So this is just a pin that I created and it has big text on it, which is great. And the thing that is also good is that it has quite a lot of pin outbound clicks, or sorry, these are just pin clicks, but you can infer that some of these at least were eventually outbound clicks. And then the other great thing is saves. When people save your content, it gets saved to their own boards, and then anybody that's following them can then see the content that they saved. So it's great to make helpful content, because when people click through and they save it, these pins start to get more and more popular, which is why this one's at 10,000 sessions. Your content needs to be helpful and provide value for other people. Otherwise, you are not going to get accepted to an ad agency. Your content needs to be unique as well. You can't just copy what somebody else has written, because Google will ding your site. They have so many checkers now, and that's why a lot of people are having a harder time to get into something like Google AdSense, which used to be so easy to get into. I talked a little bit before about how I started on Google AdSense and I actually had really good RPMs. I made more in my first 2 months being on Google AdSense than I have with Journey by Mediavine. Although I don't know if that would have lasted or if it would have stayed. Either way, I'm still happy to be on Journey by Mediavine, but you need to make sure that your content is unique and helpful. So adding in your own personal experience to it, adding in tips where you can, make your content unique and stand out. Because if you are just using AI, it just copies what other people have already written and puts it in there, and then your content's not unique and you're never going to get accepted to something like Google AdSense or Journey by Mediavine, because they know that you're just copying other people. You need to add your own unique spin and your own experience to your content. Otherwise, you're not going to stand out and you're not going to be successful with blogging. So I hope that this was helpful for you. I've seen other people comment on my YouTube asking questions about getting started with applying for ad agencies and what you should have on your blog. So this is all of the things that I think you should focus on when you're first starting in order to get accepted to an ad agency.